All right, so for this problem here, you're trying to identify what the oxidizing and reducing agents are, and it's an unbalanced equation. I'm just going to rewrite everything to give us more room to identify out the numbers. And we have potassium nitrate, CO2 plus water plus chromium nitrate. Okay, so that's off the page. And we're going to go through and just assign oxidation numbers for all the elements inside of our chemical reaction here. So let's do that really quickly. The oxygens, they're each -2, so there's a total charge of -6 here. The hydrogen I know is +1. So to make this all add up to 0, we know that the nitrogen is +5. The oxygen over here is -2. It's +1 here, so it's a total charge of +6. And then since we have 2 carbons, I know that this is going to add up to +4. So this side I know has to add up to -4. So each carbon here is +2. The oxygens here again are -2, so total of -14. The potassiums I know are +1, so total charge of +2. And in order to make this come out to a charge of 0, I know that the chromiums have to add up to 16, so each one of these is +6. On the right side, I'm just going to go through really quickly and come up with those as well. Carbon here is going to be -2 for the oxygen, +1 for each hydrogen, and then because we have a total charge of -2, +4, we need a charge of -2 here. Each carbon is going to be -1. And then we have +1, -2 for the water. And for the chromium nitrate, the nitrate we know has a -2 here. And we know the nitrogen here is going to be a +5 because we need to make the overall charge on the nitrate come out to a -6. Each nitrate we know has an overall charge of -1. There's 3 of them here, so that's going to be -3. So the chromium has to be +3 on this side. Okay, so once we've done all that, we're going to go through and look for any elements that have changed in oxidation number, and hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen on both sides are exactly the same. But the carbon here, you know that the carbon's +2 over on the left, and over on the product side, the carbon has a changed oxidation number of -1. We also see chromium, which started off as +6 over on the left side, and over on our right side, we see that the chromium is now a +3. Okay, so from here, we can now figure out what was oxidized and reduced. And the one I like to start with is the one where I see a reduced number. You could see that the oxidation number went from +6 to +3. So we say that this potassium dichromate became reduced. And we say that it was reduced. We know that we have gained electrons. Okay. And from here, if you wanted to identify what the oxidizing agent was, we could go a little further with that. And it's the entire compound over on the left side. So potassium dichromate would be your oxidizing agent. And the other element that we're going to be looking at here is our carbons. So carbon started off as a +2, and then it went down to a -1. I'm sorry, not a, oh, I put a +2 right there. So it started off as a -2, and then it went up to a -1. So we know that the carbon became oxidized, meaning that we have lost electrons. So we know that this entire compound is going to be my reducing agent. And that's all.